Within 30 seconds of your heart stopping, something happens in your head that nobody expected to find. For decades, medicine taught us that dying was like pulling a plug from a wall outlet. The power cuts out, the screen goes black, and the machine goes completely silent. But when researchers at the University of Michigan hooked dying patients up to brain scanners, the monitors did not flatline right away. Instead, the brain unleashed a sudden, massive surge of electrical synchronization. High-frequency gamma waves, the exact patterns your brain produces when you are intensely focused, remembering a childhood home or having a lucid dream, surged across the cortex. In the very moments your body surrenders, your mind appears to turn every single light on at once. When your mind turns every light on at once, it reveals that death is not an instant event. It is a biological process. Think of it like a cascade of dominoes falling one by one. First comes clinical death, when your heartbeat stops and blood halts in your veins. But your cells do not die simultaneously. Individual neurons, muscle cells, and skin tissue fight to survive in the dark. They burn through their remaining chemical energy for minutes or even hours. Your auditory cortex is often the last sensory network to shut down. The voices in the room may be the final pieces of reality you process. Footsteps or the hum of air conditioning linger as your personal timeline closes. Long after your personal timeline closes, most people assume the rest of the world keeps spinning forever. We view mortality as a private tragedy in a quiet room. We build cities, write books, and launch satellites. We assume the stage itself will endure forever, even without us. We treat the future as an endless open field where human civilization can run without limit. That comfort is what makes the actual physics of our future so startling. Zoom out from the hospital bed to the solar system. Then look all the way to the edges of the visible cosmos. Humanity is not a permanent passenger on an eternal stage. The stage itself has an expiration date. It is governed by the exact same physical rules that shut down your cells. The physical rules that shut down your cells are already counting down on our home planet. Right now, Earth feels solid, ancient, and indestructible. But in roughly 1 billion years, our sun will grow 10% brighter. It is burning through its core hydrogen fuel. That change triggers a runaway chain reaction. As temperatures climb, the weathering of silicate rocks accelerates. Carbon dioxide gets trapped inside the Earth's crust. Within 600 million to 1 billion years, carbon dioxide drops too low for plants. When the plants die, oxygen vanishes. The oceans boil off into space. The surface of Earth will return to sterile, scorched rock long before the sun ever touches our planet. Yet a scorched planet is not even the part of the story that matters most. In roughly 5 billion years, our sun will run out of core hydrogen completely. It will swell into a massive red giant star. The fiery outer envelope will swallow Mercury and consume Venus. It will likely incinerate Earth into a puff of vaporized dust. Everything our species ever built will be melted down into basic atoms. Every temple, library, and digital server will blow away into the interstellar wind. Even if our atoms escape into the interstellar wind by migrating to new star systems, we only buy time. Spreading across galaxies gives us more room, but it does not buy an escape. The universe itself operates on a strict energy ledger. That physical balance sheet can never be cheated. That unyielding energy ledger brings us into the Degenerate Era, roughly 100 trillion years from right now. By this point, all the free gas in galaxies will be exhausted. The universe will lose the ability to forge new stars. One by one, yellow stars like our sun will flicker out. The only stars left will be tiny, dim red dwarfs. They sip their fuel so slowly that they survive for trillions of years. Eventually, even those stubborn embers burn their final hydrogen. They cool into dark stellar corpses called black dwarfs. The night sky will turn entirely black. No matter where you look in the cosmos, there will not be a single star shining anywhere. For an incomprehensible stretch of time, the cosmos will hold only dead stellar remnants, floating planets, and supermassive black holes. They will drift through freezing darkness. Then, matter itself begins to disintegrate. In modern particle physics, protons are the basic building blocks of atoms. They make up everything from water to bone. Over 10 of 36 years, these protons decay into radiation. Any rogue planets or frozen spacecraft will simply dissolve atom by atom. They will turn into a thin mist of light. Once all matter dissolves into a thin mist of light, that leaves only the black holes. These gravitational giants will be the sole rulers of reality, yet even they are not eternal. Physicist Stephen Hawking discovered that black holes slowly leak quantum particles back into space. A stellar mass black hole evaporates over 10 to the power of 67 years. Supermassive titans take 10 to the power of 100 years to boil away. In their final moments, each black hole releases a brilliant flash of light. It is a tiny spark in an otherwise dead universe right before vanishing forever. After that final flash, reality enters what physicists call the dark era. The universe reaches maximum entropy, also known as heat death. Every particle is separated by light years of cold, flat, empty space. The temperature drops to just barely above absolute zero. There is no heat flow, no chemical reactions, no movement, and no energy differences that could ever power a clock, a machine, or a living thought. Time itself effectively loses all physical meaning because nothing will ever change again. When you hear that timeline where nothing ever changes again, it is easy to feel a profound sense of emptiness. Our bodies shut down, our planet burns, every star dies, and the entire universe cools into silence. You might wonder what the point of anything was. Why build, why love, and why care if the final score is always zero? That question brings us right back to those 30 seconds in the hospital room. Those 30 seconds in the hospital room show us what life actually is. Entropy makes matter cold, scattered, and chaotic. Against those odds, life is a miraculous rebellion. Ordinary matter was forged inside the belly of ancient exploding stars. Over billions of years, that matter pulled itself together. It built beating hearts and conscious brains. It created minds that could look at the night sky and understand the laws of physics. Because our conscious brains understand those laws of physics, we see that life is significant precisely because it ends. Your life is not meaningless because it is finite. A painting is beautiful because it has a frame. A song moves you because the notes eventually stop. If the universe were an unchanging blaze of light, nothing could ever be lost. The fact that stars burn out makes this afternoon, this conversation, and this breath priceless. We are the universe's temporary way of experiencing itself. For a brief window, dead dust woke up and learned how to love. When our time comes, we simply return our borrowed atoms back to the cosmos. We have played our part in the greatest story ever told. Thank you for spending this part of your timeline with InfiniteUniall.